At 63, Melissa Sue Anderson finally breaks her silence. For decades, the world knew her as Mary Ingalls, the quiet, gentle girl navigating the trials of a family and a nation on the small screen. But behind the warm glow of Little House on the Prairie, there were shadows few ever imagined. Tonight, for the first time, Melissa lifts the veil, revealing a truth that has lingered quietly in the corners of Hollywood gossip, speculation, and unspoken stories. Melissa's journey began in the small, suburban neighborhoods of California. A child of remarkable poise and talent, she was drawn to the cameras almost instinctively. At 8 years old, she was cast as Mary Ingalls. To the audience, she was the embodiment of innocence and resilience, her eyes reflecting a wisdom beyond her years. But as the cameras rolled, the lines between fiction and reality began to blur. The set of Little House was more than a workplace, it was a crucible, forging relationships that were as intense as they were complicated. Michael Landon, the charismatic heart of the series, was a figure larger than life. To millions, he was Charles Ingalls, steady, kind, and morally upright. But Melissa's new revelation paints a more complex picture. She describes a man whose brilliance on screen was matched by a relentless drive behind it. A man whose presence could lift the spirits of a cast or crush them with a single look. Michael was everything to me and terrifying at the same time, she admits, her voice wavering slightly, hinting at the deep emotional scars hidden behind decades of composure. The truth she shares is not simple. Scandal, it is layered, nuanced, and deeply human. Melissa recalls moments on set that were filled with laughter and camaraderie, but also moments when Landon's expectations pushed her to the edge. There were times I felt I was walking a tightrope, she recalls, not just as an actress, but as a person trying to survive in a world that demanded perfection. Those words hang in the air like smoke, a subtle reminder that childhood stardom often comes with invisible chains. Melissa's revelation forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. How much of the kindness we saw on screen was real, and how much was a mask? Was Landon's intensity a form of mentorship, or did it cross lines that a young actress shouldn't have to navigate alone? As she speaks, there is no accusation, only reflection, a mature, painful honesty that forces viewers to reconsider the idyllic memories of television's golden family. One particularly haunting memory she shares involves a quiet afternoon on set. The cameras had stopped rolling, but Landon's energy lingered, heavy and insistent. Melissa, then just a girl, recalls a conversation that left her unsettled for years. He asked me about things no adult should ask a child. At the time, I didn't understand why it felt wrong, she says, her hands trembling slightly as if recalling the weight of that moment decades later. It's a subtle, almost imperceptible pause, but it speaks volumes. The audience is left suspended in that moment, questioning, fearing, and empathizing simultaneously. Yet, amidst these darker recollections, Melissa also remembers warmth and genuine care. Landon was a mentor, a creative force, and at times, a protector. The duality of his personality is a recurring theme in her encounter, reminder that people are rarely one thing, and history is rarely simple. Her reflections are filled with moments of laughter shared on set, of support during personal struggles, of fleeting glances that conveyed approval or disappointment. These memories are bittersweet, forming a mosaic of emotions that is as captivating as it is heartbreaking. Melissa's story crescendos with a revelation about her own journey. After leaving the show, she struggled with the aftermath of childhood fame, grappling with self-worth and identity. I spent years trying to reconcile who I was on screen with who I was in real life, she says. It is a struggle many child actors know too well. The world adored their on-screen persona, but the real child behind the camera remained largely invisible. Her honesty about these struggles is both humbling and empowering, a testament to resilience forged in fire. In the end, Melissa does not offer closure, and perhaps that is the point. Life, much like her memories of Landon, is complicated, full of contradictions and moral gray zones. She leaves the audience with questions rather than answers, a haunting invitation to look beyond the comfort of nostalgia and confront the realities that often lie beneath the surface of fame. What does it mean to idolize someone, to love and fear them at the same time? How do we honor the complexity of those who shaped us, without ignoring the harm they may have caused? Melissa Sue Anderson's story is not just about Michael Landon or Little House on the Prairie. It is a meditation on childhood, power, memory, and the courage it takes to finally speak the truth. At 63, she offers a voice that is unwavering yet tender, a testimony that challenges our assumptions and asks us to look deeper. Perhaps the greatest lesson she leaves us with is this: the truth is rarely simple, the past is rarely clean, and sometimes, the most profound courage comes from simply telling our story. Because some stories, no matter how long buried, demand to be heard, and when they finally are, they change the way we see everything.